Hello, thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. This is Hafiz. Today we are going to discuss very important solution for SSL certificate automatic renewal. But before that, we will discuss some key concepts around SSL certificates and what they are required. After that, I will discuss like how we can obtain free SSL certificate for the lifetime from the Let's Encrypt Certificate Authority. So first of all, what is the SSL certificate? SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. That is a security protocol that creates an encrypted channel between user and browser session. It is a digital certificate that authenticates website's identity and enables an encrypted connection. It ensures that any data transferred between user and the browser is secured via the encrypted channel. The main difference between secure website and non-secure website you can see in the diagram below that non-secure website always shows an error and security website is shows the padlock. That means whenever user is visiting the website it marks as secure. Why the companies need SSL certificate? Companies and organizations need to add SSL certificate to their websites because they want to secure their online transactions and keep customer information private and secure. That helps to build the customer's confidence and trust into the company and in the business. SSL certificate helps to secure information such as login credentials, credit card details, personal information, legal documents and contracts, medical records, and so on. Imagine if website is not secure and it has some important data such as a bank's website or some government website that has some confidential data or bank's account information. Imagine that hackers will access those details or those data and can cause big damage. SSL certificate helps secure websites and customers data and information, but it also comes with a challenge of expiry and renewal of SSL certificate because that puts extra overhead on the IT admins to renew the SSL certificate periodically. What happens if SSL certificate is not renewed before expiry? It gives a warning message to the users that website is not secure anymore, and it also puts a company reputation on stake because user visiting the websites may think that website is compromised or it was hacked by someone or it is not secure anymore. So we have a solution for that. Let's Encrypt Certificate Authority provides a free for lifetime SSL certificate. Let's talk about Let's Encrypt Certificate Authority. So Let's Encrypt Certificate Authority is the trusted certificate authority that provides free of cost SSL certificate to the people. It works on ACME protocol, that is ACME version 2.0, that typically runs on the web host. There are a lot of command-based tools available to be used for certificate management with the ACME protocol. Let's have a quick look on the Let's Encrypt website. So Let's Encrypt website, as I mentioned, it's a certificate authority that uses the ACME protocol and has support for various certificate management clients and tools. They recommend to use certbot, but there are many options available. As you can see, they have options on the bash, C, C++, and so on. Docker, Java, Kubernetes, Azure, OpenShift, and so on. Although there are many options to manage the Let's Encrypt certificates, but we are going to use the Certify the Web tool for that purpose. Certified the Web tool is a most famous tool that provides the UI to professionally manage the ACME certificate on the Windows. As you can see in the flow, it supports the multiple certificate authorities, including Let's Encrypt. It has an app that works on Windows and it runs on the background service continuously as a local account. And then it can be integrated with web, email, remote access, secure FTP, SSH, or other services, other protocols. Now we are going to discuss the solution of renewing the Let's Encrypt SSL certificates automatically without the hassle of managing them manually and without worrying about renewal. As you can see in the diagram, there are multiple components that I have integrated in this solution. First of all, you can see Let's Encrypt is a certificate authority that issues the certificates. Then we have Certify Certificate Manager Tool that is going to check the certificate and create the certificate initially, then check the certificate for its validity, and when it's expired, before expiry, based on the parameters, it gets renewed. And secondly, then Certify Tool, it does the validation of the domain ownership. So basically there are two ways to do that. Either we have to perform the HTTP challenge on the some storage account. Let's in case we have Azure storage or S3 bucket on the AWS. Then we can do that also on the DNS challenge by using the DNS API secrets from the DNS provider. Then when it verifies the domain ownership, then it does the authentication with the Azure cloud using with the app registration using the client secret. Then that app registration have the permissions on the Key Vault to check the certificate, validate the thumbprint, and then update the certificate. So basically, in this scenario, you can see once the certificate manager continuously check the certificate about its validity, and it has expiry parameter. So based on the value uh, mentioned in the tool, it checks for the expiry and it does the renew. So when it's renews, then it does the domain validation. After that, it checks the client secret authentication with the Azure cloud using the app registration. Then it updates the certificate into the Azure Key Vault certificate store. So from that our Azure services such as Azure App Gateway, Azure Web Apps, Azure Functions, and other services can get the new certificate from the Azure Key Vault using the sync function. So we are going to see this solution in demo how to configure this. So let's have a quick demo on getting the SSL certificate from Let's Encrypt using the Certify Web Certificate Manager tool for my website. So I have created one web app. I have created a custom domain. As you can see, game.clouds-hub.com. Let's browse that. I copy the URL, paste in the browser. You can see it mentions not secure because this doesn't have SSL certificate. Now we are going to create a new certificate for our website. Click on new certificate. So before that, we have to register our account with the Let's Encrypt service by using our email address. That is this one. Click on agree and click on register contact. You can see our contact is registered. As you can see, this email account is registered with the Let's Encrypt service. You can see the URL as well. ACME version 2 API letsencrypt.org. Now let's add a certificate for our website game.clouds-hub.com. We have to copy this and add that DNS name for the certificate. You can also add the multiple names. Let's say for our root domain clouds-hub.com. You can also add that one as well. You can also add the wildcard. Okay, click on save. This file is saved. Now click on authorization. Now you can see we have to prove the domain ownership. So as you can see in the diagram, this Certify tool works with the either on the HTTP challenge or DNS challenge. So we are going to use DNS challenge for our domain ownership validation. So for that purpose, I'm going to create login credentials for the DNS API. So I am having this IONS DNS provider. So currently I don't have any credentials saved here. I'm going to create a new one. So basically I have already created the DNS credentials for API access in my DNS provider console. So I'm going to edit here. So IONS DNS API access. Then I have to provide the details. This is my API prefix. Then my API secret. Click on save. And then this is just the propagation delay for the updates with the DNS. Then click on save. So basically it will perform the DNS challenge periodically for the domain ownership. So after adding the DNS API credentials in the Certify tool, we have to test the configuration that it is able to authenticate with the DNS using the DNS API. So it creates the TXT record in order to validate the domain ownership. So as you can see, it passed the validation for the domain ownership. Now we can click on request the certificate for this website. As you can see, certificate is obtained successfully from LetsEncrypt by the certified tool. It verified the domain ownership using the DNS challenge. You can see the certificate properties. This is certificate, and you can see the certificate details. Then what we can do, we can integrate with the app registration in order to automatically deploy the certificate to the Key Vault store in order to update the certificate automatically to our Azure web services in the backend. So for that purpose, first of all, I have created the app registration. So as you can see, I have created one app registration over here, and this app registration has a secret key created. So basically this secret we will define in the certified tool. So we will provide this secret into the certified tool in order to authenticate. Now you can see certificate is created successfully. It is obtained from LetsEncrypt by this certified tool using the ACME protocol. Let's view the certificate properties. You can see certificate is obtained for the 90 days. By default, it is obtained for the 90 days. The validity is until April 9. You can see in the settings, you can change the settings. So basically, when you want to renew the certificate, you can change the time, how many days before the expiry it will try to renew, and how many times, maximum times you can do for the renewal tries. Let's say if it is failed or something, then you can see certificate store is LetsEncrypt. These are the stored credentials. You can also import and export the certificates using this tool. And so now our scenario, we have to update this obtained certificate from the Certify tool from local repository to the Azure Key Vault. In order to do that, I have to assign the app registration permission to the Key Vault using the Key Vault access policy, so it can update the certificate to the Key Vault certificate store. So once it is stored in the Key Vault, then our Azure services will sync with the certificate store using the certificate thumbprint, and it will update automatically. I have created one app registration called LetsEncrypt, and I have created one secret for that. So this secret I will add into the certified tool. Let's go here and go to the stored credentials. So already I have added one DNS API credentials for the domain validation. Now I'm going to add the second credential for the Azure AD application client secret. So let me give it a name. Let's encrypt. Okay, then I have to provide these parameters. Let's say tenant ID. Then I have to provide the application ID. Basically, this is client ID. Then I have to enter the client secret value. So this is the client secret value. Click on save. Okay, then I have to add one more credentials for the cert pfx password. So let me select this password, cert pfx password. Okay, this is saved. Okay, so this is used for the domain validation. This is used for the authentication with the app registration, to update the certificate, to upload the certificate from the Certify tool to the Key Vault, and this is the pfx password. Okay, so I have updated this secret there in the app. So I have one Key Vault here, as you can mention. So basically we have to um, create a Key Vault policy, Key Vault access policy, and assign these permissions: set, get, list, update, create and import permissions to the app registrations and to the manage identity. So basically web app or web service has the um, manage identity assigned to it with contributor permission, that updates the that accesses the manage identity, and manage identity will do the will get the certificate from the certificate store using this keyword access policy. Now we are going to create keyword access policy. So we have one keyword over here. We go to there and we go to access policies. So currently there is one default access policy with admin is having access of everything on the keyword. So we'll create a new create policy and then assign the permissions as mentioned in this diagram. You can see, so basically we have to create these permissions in the keyword access policy: cert, get, list, update, create, import, and assign these permissions to the app registration. Let's encrypt cert, and assign this policy to the manage identity. Click on next. Then we have to select the principal. Let me search. Let's encrypt. Okay, next, create. Okay, and then we have to create one more for the manage identity with the same permissions. Click on manage identity. This is the manage identity that I have already over here, this one. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay, next, create. Now you can see I have assigned the permissions on the keyword access policy for the let's encrypt and manage identity to update the certificate. So after adding the keyword access policy, I have to add the contributor permissions for the manage identity on the web app. So I'll go to the IAM, I'll go to the role assignments. You can see previously I assigned the contributor permission to the manage identity for the web app. So basically web app will authenticate with the Azure Key Vault using this managed identity, and it will take the updated certificate from the Azure Key Vault and sync. So that is a step number 5. So this is done. Now what we need to do, we need to update the deployment task. So basically when you create a certificate, by default it is stored in the certificate store that is on the local machine. Okay, and then but we have to add one task to deploy this certificate to the Azure Key Vault. So initially we have to perform this. So previously you remember I added one authentication for the Let's encrypt in the Certify tool. So I have to provide the URL for the Key Vault. So Key Vault URL, this one. I need to go back to the tool. Then cert name is game cert pfx. Then I click on OK. So before running this task, I want to show you my current certificate store on the Key Vault is empty. Now you can see that certificate is uploaded to Azure Key Vault, and we see the expiry. So activation date is today's date and expiry is after 90 days. Okay, but we don't need to be worried about its expiry because it will automatically renew. This is the beauty of this tool. Okay, and now what we are going to do, we have to add the SSL binding for our custom domain. So we'll go back to the web app, go to the custom domain, click on SSL binding. Okay, and you see the certificate. So we have to select the certificate and select the existing certificate. Certificate binding is done, and we can see certificate is secure. Now we go to the website and refresh the page. Click on this, refresh, and you see this certificate is now added to the website and it's not showing any security warning anymore. So this certificate will automatically renew based on the parameter defined in the expiry date in the tool. So let's say you have this general setting. So let's say you want to renew the certificate before 15 days before the expiry. So you go here and do the settings accordingly. So for now, this is it, and I hope you have liked my solution. Please like the video, share with your friends, post the comment if you have any questions. Until next video, goodbye.